My dad has run a breakfast shop in the urban village for 30 years. The only hard rule we have is that freshly baked pork buns can never be taken out. You have to finish them in the shop. He even used half-meter wide red paint to brush this rule, firmly on the white wall right next to the steamer. I never understood the reason behind this, until he got hospitalized for urinary stones today. I came to the shop to cover his shift. My dad gave me a call. Did you let a customer take pork buns to go chase him back right now. Our shop is called Chen's Old Store. It's super tacky, but business has always been pretty good, especially the pork buns my dad makes with his own hands. They have thin skin and generous filling, and they're super juicy. People line up here before dawn every morning. It was still dark this morning. I came to the shop as my dad told me to start working. I took off my coat, put on a blue work uniform, and started kneading dough and mixing fillings. I've been doing these chores since I was little. I can do them with my eyes closed. Even though I haven't done this in years, the muscle memory is still there. 5 a.m., the first batch of buns came out right on time. I lifted the steamer lid. Scalding white steam burst out all at once, carrying a strong, savory meat aroma, filling the entire tiny shop in a second. Plump, white buns were packed tight in the steamer. Even their folds looked shiny and glossy. "Hey, boss!" "2 pork buns, please, and a bowl of soy milk." The first customer was Uncle Wang from the nearby construction site. "He's always the first one to come every day?" "Got it," I replied in the same tone my dad always uses, and quickly brought his order over to him. Uncle Wang took a big bite, hissing because it was so hot, but mumbled praises through his full mouth. That's delicious." I smiled and didn't say anything. More and more customers kept coming after that. "Boss, 4 pork buns, and 2 bowls of congee." The shop filled up really fast. The small space was filled with chatter, congee slurping, and chewing sounds, plus that lingering mix of sweat and food scents that make up the cozy everyday vibe. I was running around nonstop, collecting money, serving plates, clearing tables, doing the work of 3 people all by myself. It was really exhausting, for sure. But looking at the growing pile of change in the cash box, I felt a little sense of satisfaction somehow. Maybe taking over this shop isn't that bad after all. That thought just popped into my head when a voice from the door cut me off. Well, isn't that Chen Hui? What are you doing selling buns here?" That voice was snarky and mean, with that way too familiar sense of superiority I hated. I lifted my head sharply. A man and a woman were standing at the door. The woman was wearing a designer dress, with delicate makeup on, carrying a bag of a brand I couldn't name, but it was obviously super expensive. It was Lin Yue, my ex I dated for 3 years, who I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with, but we split up because I couldn't afford the diamond ring she wanted. The man next to her had a big beer belly. His hair was slicked back all shiny. The blinging gold watch on his wrist almost blinded me. He had one arm around Lin Yue's waist, fiddling with a Land Rover car key in the other. I felt all the blood rushing to my head. What a terrible coincidence. The last people I wanted to see in the whole world had to show up when I looked the most messed up. I was wearing a greasy work uniform, covered in flour and smelling like sweat. I looked like a total joke. She, on the other hand, was all glammed up, like a stuck-up princess. "What are you doing here?" I forced the words out through my teeth. My voice was dry and tight. Lin Yue looked me up and down, curling her lip in disgust. Her gaze was like she was looking at a stray dog on the side of the road. "Brother Wang and I are here to run some errands, and stopped for breakfast on the way. I heard this shop's buns are really famous. I didn't know it's your family's shop." She said she didn't expect it, but her tone was full of I-knew-it mockery. That fatty called Brother Wang also spoke up. His voice was as greasy as an unwashed frying pan. "Yue, is this the college classmate you told me about?" He deliberately emphasized the words college classmate when he said that. "Huh. Yeah, Chen Hui. Let me introduce you. This is my boyfriend Wang Hao." I didn't even bother glancing at him, and coldly spat out 2 words. "Oomph. Someone's got quite the temper, huh?" Wang Hao snorted disdainfully. He tightened his arm around Lin Yue. "Yi wants to eat your pork buns. Heard they're really famous around here. Pack 10 of them for us, will you?" My heart skipped a beat the second I heard pack. I glanced over instinctively at the blood-red words written on the wall. Sorry about that. It's the house rule here. Freshly baked pork buns can't be packed to go. I pointed at the red words on the wall, trying my best to sound strictly business. This isn't just my dad's strict order. It's also my only way to fight back right now. Aren't you two here to show off? Well, too bad for you. This is my turf. Even if you're a dragon, you gotta coil up here. Even if you're a tiger, you gotta crouch down. Wang Hao clearly didn't care about this stupid rule. He pulled a stack of 100-yen bills from his wallet. There must be at least 1,000 yen there, and slammed it right on the greasy table. Rules are dead, right? People are flexible. We're in a hurry. We don't have time to eat here. This money. Is that enough for you? He held his chin way up high, looking down at me through his nostrils. I stared at that stack of cash. Its bright red color stung my eyes. All the other dining customers stopped using their chopsticks. Looking over at us curiously, some of them looked like they were here for the drama. Some looked sympathetic. Others looked disdainful. I could feel my face burning up. Not out of shame, but out of anger. This was straight-up humiliation. He thinks he can do whatever he wants with money. Thinks he can throw cash at us to break. The rule my dad has stuck to for 30 years. I don't want your money. I pushed the stack of cash back. My voice was as cold as ice. I said no takeouts. That means no takeouts, period. If you want to eat, sit down and eat here. If not, the door is right over there. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. My attitude completely pissed Wang Hao off. His face darkened immediately. He slammed his hand hard on the table. The vinegar bottle on the table even jumped a little. Hey, you ungrateful little brat, huh? You're just a bun seller. What makes you think you're so tough? Bet I can make this lousy shop close down tomorrow. Calm down, Brother Hao. Lin Yue pulled him back quickly. Her cutesy voice gave me goosebumps all over. She turned around to look at me. There was a hint of victorious pity in her eyes. Chen Hui! Why are you making this so hard? Do you even know who Brother Hao is? Him coming to your lousy shop for breakfast is doing you a huge favor? It's just packing some buns. What's the big deal? Can't you just bend the rules a little? Why do you have to make things so awkward? What good does that do you? She paused for a second. Her tone shifted like she was lecturing. A naughty little kid. You're still the same as you were in college. Poor and stubborn as a mule. Your dad's been running this lousy shop his whole life. He's never gonna amount to anything. And look at you. You graduated from a top university, but so what? You still came back to sell buns, right? Why are you taking your anger out on me? You don't even deserve it. Whether I deserve it or not isn't for you to decide. I stared at her sharply, said every word slowly and clearly. This is my family's shop. We make the rules here. My dad's been selling buns his whole life. He raised me with this shop. I don't think that's shameful at all. You, on the other hand, will date anyone for money. Aren't you the one who should be ashamed? You... Lin Yue's face instantly turned beet red. My words clearly hit a nerve. Chen Hui, what did you just say? Wang Hao was completely furious now. He rolled up his sleeves, ready to beat me up. Stop right there. I grabbed the steamed bun cutting knife next to me and slammed it down on the cutting board. The whole board shook from the impact. You want to cause trouble? I stared at him with bloodshot eyes. Lay a finger on me, I dare you. I grew up fighting in the urban village. Working as an office worker these past few years softened me a little, but that ruthless side of me is still there. If we actually fight, this out-of-shape fat guy ruined by alcohol and women doesn't stand a single chance against me. Wang Hao was shocked by my move. He glanced at the knife in my hand, then at my murderous gaze, and flinched back a little. The atmosphere in the shop instantly went ice cold. All the customers around didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Fine. All right, you're tough. Chen Hui, right? I'll remember you. Let's go. He pulled Lin Yue and was about to leave. But Lin Yue shook off his hand. She stared daggers at me. Her eyes were filled with pure venom. All of a sudden, she rushed to the steamer, catching me off guard. Ripped off the steamer lid. The scalding steam made her yelp in pain, but she still quickly reached inside and grabbed a few meat buns. and stuffed them randomly into her designer bag. The whole move was done in one smooth flow. I'm not just taking these to go. I'm not paying a single cent for them today. What are you gonna do about it, huh? She screamed at me, a look of vengeful satisfaction on her face. I was totally stunned. I never expected her to pull such a stunt. This wasn't just acting out of spite anymore. This was being unreasonable. Straight up being a rogue. My dad's rules, the principles I'd stuck to for so long, all felt like a total joke at that moment. Wang Hao was also stunned for a second, then burst out laughing. Nice one, Xiao Yue. That's exactly how you deal with people like him, ha ha ha. He wrapped an arm around Lin Yue smugly and gave me a provocative look. Then the two of them swaggered out of the shop and disappeared at the alley entrance. I stood there frozen, still holding that cold kitchen knife in my hand. My mind went completely blank. The customers around started whispering to each other. Ugh, Xiao Hui is so unlucky. Running into people like this. Right. That's his ex, right? Judging by how she acted, she came here to cause trouble on purpose. Totally. Listening to all these comments, I felt all the strength drain out of my body. I slowly put down the kitchen knife and slumped down on the bench dejectedly. The stack of cash Wang Hao slapped on the table was still there, but it felt so absurdly ironic to me. I resisted the temptation of money, but I failed to keep my dad's rules. I lost completely and utterly. I had no idea how to explain this to my dad. If he found out I let a customer take meat buns away as takeout, and in this manner no less, he'd jump right off his hospital bed and beat me to death. I scratched my head irritably. I took out my phone, thought for a second, and still didn't dare call my dad. Whatever, they're just a few buns, right? It's not like he'll actually break my legs. Worst case, I get yelled at. I tried to comfort myself like that, but that uneasy feeling in my chest kept growing stronger. Right at that moment, my phone suddenly started ringing like crazy. The caller ID showed it was Dad. My heart skipped a beat. I had a bad feeling about this. I took a deep breath and pressed the answer button. Hello, Dad? Did you let a customer take meat buns away with them? On the other end of the line, my dad's voice wasn't weak and breathy like it was that morning. It was filled with unprecedented panic and rage. It was so shrill it felt like it would pierce my eardrums. Dad, calm down first. Let me... Cut the crap. Go chase them right now. Get those buns back. Or something terrible is gonna happen. There was no trace of weakness from a kidney stone patient in my dad's voice at all. The urgency and panic coming through the phone made the hand holding my phone shake a little. Dad, calm down. Let me I don't want to hear your crap. He didn't give me any chance to speak at all. His voice was so loud it cracked. Tell me, was it a woman? Did she come here in a fancy car? Did she snatch the buns away? My mind went buzzing. How did he know that? Wasn't he in the hospital? Does he have some kind of superpower to see everything? My dad seemed to guess what I was thinking. His voice was sharp and rushed. Don't ask how I know. Right now, immediately. Go chase after that person right now. Get all the buns she stuffed in her bag. Every last one of them now. But Dad, they're just a few buns. Is it that serious? They're already long gone. Where am I supposed to chase them? I still thought he was overreacting. It's just that bitch Lin Yue who snatched a few buns, just to spite me, right? How can that be a big disaster? Serious? It's way more than serious. Chen Hui, listen to me. This isn't as simple as you think. If you still recognize me as your dad, get out right now and chase after her. If you can't find her, don't bother coming back either. He hung up the phone straight away. I stood there frozen, holding my phone. There were still a few customers in the shop who hadn't finished eating. They were all staring at me like I was crazy. My dad's lost his mind. He's disowning his own son over a few buns. What kind of logic is that? I was furious and panicking at the same time. There was also this weird sense of fear. My dad's whole life. He never flinches even if the sky falls down. What's gotten into him today? That bone-deep fear of his. I could feel it even through the phone line. Xiao Hui, did your dad say something to you? I shook my head. My mind was a total mess. I'm heading out for a bit. Just leave the money on the table when you're done eating. I didn't have time to care about anything else. I ripped off my work uniform, threw it casually on the table, and rushed out of the shop. My dad's reaction was way too off. There's definitely something I don't know about this. No matter what it is, I have to find Lin Yue first. But where do I even look? The alleys in the urban village twist and turn everywhere. They're like a spider web. I rushed to the mouth of the alley. Staring at the busy main road full of traffic, I was totally lost. A white Range Rover would be really noticeable in a place like this, but I didn't pay any attention earlier. Which direction they drove off in. I was so anxious I was pacing in circles. It suddenly hit me. I still have Lin Yue's phone number. After we broke up, I had blocked all her contact info a long time ago. But that number was burned into my brain like a brand. I couldn't forget it even if I tried. I shakily pulled her number out of the blacklist and dialed it. Sorry, the number you have dialed is busy right now. Please try again later. Busy my ass. She definitely blocked me back. I switched gears and tried WeChat. Luckily, I hadn't deleted her on WeChat yet. I called her directly via voice call. It rang for a long time. Just when I thought she wouldn't pick up, the call connected. Chen Hui, why are you calling me? Want to beg me to give the buns back to you? Let me tell you, I won't leave a single one for you. Tell me where you are right now. I almost yelled the words out. The other end of the line went silent for a few seconds, like they were shocked by how harsh I sounded. Then I heard that sleazy voice of Wang Hao's. Who is it, Yue? Is that bun seller again? He just won't quit, will he? Tell him if he dares harass you again. I'll get guys to beat him up, you hear me? Lin Yue, listen to me. Take the buns out of your bag and throw them away, okay? I'm begging you. I forced myself to calm down. Tried to make my voice sound less scary. Instead of chasing her down, I should get her to throw those damn buns away first. As long as the buns are gone, I can explain things to my dad. Throw them away? Why would I? Chen-hee, are you insane? They're just a few stupid buns? Is it really that big of a deal? Is your dad this neurotic too? I'm not throwing them away. I'm taking them back with me. Eat them one by one slowly just to piss you off. All right, I don't have time to waste on you. Brother Wang is taking me to the mall to buy bags. Bye. Don't hang up. There's something wrong with those buns. You can't eat them. Wrong? What's wrong with them? Did you poison them? If you did poison them, I'd be even happier. I'll get to try it anyway. If I die, I'll have someone to take down with me. Bye. The call got hung up again. I punched the nearby utility pole hard. The back of my hand got scraped immediately. It stung like crazy. That stupid woman. She has no idea how serious this is, no? I'm the dumbest one right now. I don't even know what the hell is going on. I called my dad again. He picked up really fast this time. Where is she? Did you catch up to her? No, she blocked me. She wouldn't tell me where she is. She even said she's going to eat those buns. Dad, tell me, what exactly is wrong with those buns? If you don't make it clear, how am I supposed to look for them? Where do you want me to search? The other end of the line went silent. A long, drawn-out silence. All I could hear was his heavy breathing, like he was holding back immense pain and fear. Dad, say something. Go look for them at Golden Splendor in the west of the city. I've seen that guy before. He's a regular at Golden Splendor. They're going shopping at the mall. They'll definitely go to the biggest one downtown. How do you know that? Don't ask how I know. He cut me off again, impatient. Go right now. Take a taxi, hurry. Also, listen carefully. Once you find them, do whatever it takes to get the bun back. If they already ate it? He trailed off. There was a faint tremor in his voice. What happens if they ate it? I pressed. My heart was pounding like crazy. If they ate it, you tell them, never look back, and don't answer anyone calling your name. No matter what you see or what you hear, act like it never happened. Just keep walking straight. Go somewhere crowded. Where there's plenty of sunlight? Got it. My dad said all this really fast in a rush. Every word felt like a nail hammered into my heart. Don't look back, don't answer calls. What the hell is all this? It sounds just like those ghost stories old people tell. My mind was a total mess, but I didn't dare stop moving. I ran to the roadside and hailed a taxi. Driver, to Golden Splendor Mall downtown, hurry. The car started and sped away from this depressing urban village. I leaned against the car window, watching the street scenes fly past backwards. That uneasy feeling in my chest got stronger and stronger. Dad, what are you hiding from me? The taxi arrived at the entrance of Golden Splendor Mall downtown. I tossed the driver 100 yen, didn't even wait for my change, and ran straight inside. I've been to this mall before, back when Lin Yue and I were still together. I was just a broke college student back then. She dragged me around all those luxury stores. I didn't even have the guts to walk in, could only stand awkwardly by the door, and now I'm here looking for her. How ironic. The AC in the mall was cranked up really high. It was a totally different world from my greasy little breakfast shop. Well-dressed men and women walked past me, wearing nice-smelling perfume. They looked at me with a hint of curiosity. That's when I realized I was still wearing clothes that reeked of sweat. My hair was a mess. I totally didn't fit in here. But I didn't have time to care about that. I took out my phone, tried to call Lin Yue again, found I was still blocked. I had to search floor by floor, from the cosmetics counters on the first floor, to the women's clothing on the second floor, then the men's clothing on the third floor. I ran around the crowd like a headless chicken. My eyes scanned every face sharply. Nothing, no Lin Yue, no sign of that fat guy named Wang Hao either. Did they even come here at all? Or did they already leave? What if my dad's info was wrong? The more I searched, the more panicked I got. My forehead was covered in cold sweat. Time ticked by second by second. That terrified tone my dad used on the phone kept replaying in my head. Something terrible is going to happen. Something terrible. What on earth is going to happen? I ran to the food court on the fourth floor. Still found nothing. Maybe they went to the cinema. I ran to the cinema on the top floor, peered around the ticket booth and entrance for ages. Still didn't see any familiar faces. I was totally out of ideas. Slumped against the wall. Felt like all the strength had left my body. Looking for two people in this huge mall is like finding a needle in a haystack. What should I do? Give up? Just write this off as a ridiculous morning. My dad had a weird random fit, and I ran here like an idiot. No way, my dad's reaction couldn't have been fake. I could feel that genuine fear from him. I took a deep breath, forced myself to calm down. If I were Wang Hao, a rich, show-off fat guy, with a new girlfriend I just picked up, what would I do? Eat, shop, buy stuff, then what? They came by car. Where did they park? Underground parking lot. My eyes lit up right away. It felt like I'd grabbed the last lifeline. They have to come pick up their car eventually. I turned around immediately and dashed for the elevator. I pressed the button for B2, the underground garage. The elevator door opened. A wave of cold, damp air hit me in the face. It was a sharp contrast to the warmth of the mall upstairs. The garage was very empty. The lights were dim. Rows of cars lay crouched like silent giant beasts. My footsteps echoed in the vast empty space. They sounded extra clear. I walked along carefully, searching for that white Land Rover. The garage was huge. It was divided into several zones. I started from Zone A, searching row by row. It was much colder here than outside. I couldn't help shivering. I don't know if it was just my imagination, but I kept feeling a chill down my back. It felt like someone was watching me. I whipped my head around abruptly. There was nothing behind me, just rows of cold, lifeless cars. I laughed at myself mockingly. I thought I must have been driven, totally paranoid by my dad. I kept searching Zone B and Zone C. Finally, in the corner of Zone D, I spotted that familiar white Land Rover. I remembered its license plate, too. It ends with 3/8, that's the one. I pressed my face to the window and peeked inside. Lin Yue's designer bag was on the passenger seat. The purse must be inside that bag. I tried pulling the car door, it was locked. Now what? Smashing the window is a bad idea. Then I'd be the one in the wrong, not them. Wang Hao would definitely call the cops on me. I had no choice but to wait. There's no way they won't come get their car. I found a pillar. I hid behind it, staring fixedly at that Land Rover. Time passed minute by minute. The garage was eerily quiet. All I could hear was the buzzing fluorescent light overhead and the occasional sound of dripping water coming from some unknown place. Drip, drip, drip. That sound tapped at my heart over and over, making me more and more agitated. I took out my phone and checked the time. It was almost noon already. Why haven't they come down yet? Don't they plan on leaving? Am I going to have to wait here all day? Just when I was about to lose my patience, the elevator not far away dinged and its doors opened. I quickly pulled my head back and peeked half my head out from behind the pillar. Two people walked out, a man and a woman. It was Lin Yue and Wang Hao. They were carrying big and small bags. It looked like they'd bought a lot of stuff. Lin Yue was laughing uncontrollably. She was practically hanging off Wang Hao. Wang Hao had a smug look on his face. He had a big beer belly sticking out, acting like he was the center of the universe. I clenched my fists so tight, my nails were almost digging into my flesh. This is the moment. I took a deep breath and was just about to rush out. Right at that moment, something weird happened. Wang Hao walked up to the car and was just about to open the door when he suddenly froze. It looked like he sensed something. He whipped his head around abruptly and glanced right in the direction I was hiding. I was so scared I immediately pulled my head back. My heart was pounding like crazy. Did he spot me? No way, that's impossible. I hid so well. I waited for a few seconds. I didn't hear any movement, so I carefully poked my head out again. Wang Hao was still looking in my direction, but he wasn't looking at me. He was looking at the pillar behind me. He had a really weird expression on his face, confused. And a little bit scared, too. What's wrong, Wang Ge? Nothing. Wang Hao shook his head. He turned around and mumbled something under his breath. Weird, I swear I saw a figure just now. My heart skipped a beat. What did he see? There's only the pillar behind me, and behind the pillar is a wall. There's nothing there at all. Ugh, you must have imagined it. Hurry up and open the door. I'm so tired. My feet are killing me. Lin Yue urged impatiently. Wogul made a sound of agreement and pulled out his car keys. He pressed the key. The Land Rover's lights flashed twice. He pulled the car door open. He was about to put the stuff inside when he suddenly stopped moving. This time he looked up at the car roof. His face turned deathly pale in an instant. Did you hear some kind of noise? Noise? What noise? It's just that busted light in the garage, right? That buzzing sound is so annoying. No, it's not. Someone's scratching the car roof with their nails up there. Wang Hao's eyes were wide open, staring fixedly at a spot on the car roof. Fine beads of sweat popped up on his forehead. Someone's scratching the car roof. Come on, Wang Ge, stop kidding around. It's broad daylight. Where would someone even come from? Besides, there are security cameras in this garage. Who dare do something that crazy? She clearly thought this was a lame joke. She looked up at the car roof as she laughed. Look, there's nothing, ha ha ha. She cut off mid-sentence. She suddenly froze up. The smile on her face froze right there. I was hiding behind the pillar. My heart was in my throat. What did they see? I followed the direction of their gaze and strained to look at the Land Rover's roof too. There was nothing there. The smooth car roof reflected a cold glint under the dim lights. Forget a person. There wasn't even a single hair up there. Then what were they so scared of? Go, hurry up! Wang Hao suddenly jumped like a cat whose tail got stepped on. He threw the shopping bag in his hand onto the ground. He grabbed Lin Yue and tried to scramble into the car. His movements were clumsy from fear. Lin Yue was also scared stupid. Her face was deathly pale. Her lips were trembling. She couldn't say a single word. Letting Wang Hao shove her into the passenger seat, I couldn't let them just leave like that. My dad said, the steamed buns must be brought back. A rush of heat went to my head. I didn't care how weird this whole thing was anymore. I just charged out from behind the pillar. Stop! My sudden appearance clearly scared the crap out of both of them. Wang Hao shuddered. He even dropped his car keys on the ground. Lin Wei even let out a scream. She looked at me like I was a ghost. Chen Hui! What are you doing here? I'm here to get my stuff back. Give me back my family's steamed buns. Huh. So steamed buns? Yeah, steamed buns. I said our family's steamed buns can't be taken away. Give them back to me, and we'll let this go. Are you crazy? For a couple of lousy steamed buns. You followed us all the way from the urban village here. You were stalking us. I'm not asking for your permission. I looked past him, staring fixedly at Lin Yue. Lin Yue was scared by my stare. She subconsciously hugged the bag in her arms tighter. Take out the steamed buns. I grabbed these fair and square. Why should I give them back to you? Are you sure? Right at that moment, Wang Hao suddenly shivered again. He quickly huddled his neck in. He slapped his shoulders and back wildly with both hands, grumbling under his breath the whole time. Why the hell is this place so cold? They cranked the AC way too high. As he spoke, he exhaled a puff of white mist. White mist? The garage is cold, but not cold enough to see your breath, right? It's summer, for God's sake. I noticed Wang Hao's lips had somehow turned a little purple already. His face was also looking worse and worse, like he just walked out of a freezer. Wang Ge, are you okay? I'm cold. So cold, Yue. I feel like someone's breathing on my back. He said this with a look of utter terror in his eyes, then glanced back at his own back. There was nothing behind him, but I felt a gust of cold air shoot straight up from the soles of my feet to my skull. My dad's words rang in my ears again. If they already ate them, never look back. Don't answer when anyone calls your name. My heart skipped a beat. Did you eat the steamed buns? We were hungry when we went upstairs. Wang Ge, he ate one. Oh no. That's the only word going through my head. Cold, I'm so cold. My shoulders are so heavy. Wang Hao started rambling nonsense. He curled up into a ball, hugging his arms, trembling nonstop. His fancy designer suit was soaked with cold sweat, sticking tight to his body. I stared at him intently. I suddenly noticed his right shoulder was a bit lower than his left one. It looked like there was some kind of heavy weight pressing down on his shoulder, something I couldn't see. As soon as that thought popped into my head, I got goosebumps all over my body. What the hell is going on here? Chen Hui, go check on Brother Wang quick. What's wrong with him? Hurry up and look! Brother Wang, wake up. Don't scare me like this. Cold, it hurts. My shoulder hurts so bad. Did you poison the steamed buns? Huh. I didn't. Now's not the time to blame anyone. I suddenly remembered the rest of what my dad said. Go somewhere crowded. Somewhere with lots of sunlight. Help him upstairs now. Go into the mall. There are lots of people there. Move upstairs. Lin Yue froze on the spot. Stop yapping. If you want him to die, stay right here. I ran over and lifted one of Wang Hao's arms over my shoulder. His body was as cold as a block of ice. Even through his clothes, I could feel that biting cold seeping right into my bones. And he was unbelievably heavy. I'm 1.8 meters tall. I work out regularly too, but holding him up was so much harder than I expected. It felt like I wasn't carrying a person. It was a pig. No, heavier than a pig. Lin Yue snapped out of it too, and rushed over to help. The two of us stood on either side of him, dragging Wang Hao to the elevator like a dead dog. Don't touch me! There's someone behind me! He stared behind us in terror, his pupils fully dilated. I didn't dare turn around. I gritted my teeth as hard as I could, using all my strength to drag him into the elevator. The elevator doors closed slowly. Right before the doors shut completely, I thought I heard faint, soft sighs from a woman. That sound was full of endless resentment and hunger. The elevator light was white. It looked extra eerie shining on Wang Hao's purplish face. He was still trembling, but not as bad as he was in the parking garage. What's wrong with him? Linya asked me, her voice cracking with tears. She was totally panicked. What could I even say to her? If I told her he ate something he shouldn't have, and an invisible thing is sitting on him right now, she'd definitely think I'm crazy. I don't know. That's all I could say. I took out my phone. My hands were shaking so bad I couldn't unlock the screen. I tried a bunch of times. Before I finally got through to my dad. Dad, he ate. He ate one. My voice was shaking so bad I barely recognized it. On the other end of the line, my dad let out a long sigh. That sigh sounded kind of similar to the one I heard at the elevator door just now. I was so anxious I started stamping my feet. The elevator was already cramped. So when I moved like that, Linya got scared and huddled into the corner. Wang Hao was still hanging off me, like a pile of mud, muttering about being cold nonstop. But his body was scarily hot. It's like he's experiencing both ice and fire at the same time. Don't panic. The more panicked you are, the happier that thing gets. My dad's voice finally calmed down a little, but the heaviness in his tone made it hard to breathe. Listen to me carefully now. Don't get a single word wrong. Okay, I'm listening. Tell me. First ask that girl if the leftover steamed buns are still in her bag. I looked at Lin Yue right away. Yes, I didn't touch them. Good, that's good. That's the best thing we could hope for right now. You guys need to find an empty place right now, like a bathroom. What are we going to the bathroom for? Just go when I tell you to. Stop asking stupid questions. Once you find the bathroom, take all the leftover steamed buns out. And then, get a lighter. Burn the buns to ash. What? We're burning them, Dad? We're in a mall right now. Burning stuff in the bathroom will set off the smoke alarm. When the guards get here, what are we gonna say? To hell with explaining. Which is worse, getting locked up as a lunatic, or letting that Wang guy die? You decide. I was too stunned to say a word. What do we do after burning them? Burn them as finely into ash as possible. Then get a cup. Any cup will do. Put the ash inside it. Fill it up with tap water. Mix bun ash with tap water and drink it. What the hell is this? Is this witchcraft, Dad? Are you sure this works? This is just making him eat incense ash, right? Is this stuff even edible? What if he gets sick from it? I couldn't believe my ears. It's better than letting that thing kill him. My dad's voice was as cold as ice. Those buns were steamed over the hottest fire with the most yang energy. I needed my lifetime of energy and spirit into them. Now they're tainted by yin energy. They've become guiding incense. If we don't destroy this guiding incense, that thing will keep following him until it sucks all the yang energy out of him. Hearing these words come out of my dad's mouth felt so strange, yet so natural at the same time. My mind was a total mess. Just then, the elevator reached the first floor and the doors opened. The noisy chatter from the mall and warm air rushed in. Wang Hao seemed to be doing a little better. At least he wasn't shaking that bad anymore. Stop yapping and get it done. Remember when you're doing this? Don't let that Wang guy see it at all. And don't let him hear it either. Or even immortals can't save him. My dad hung up after those last words. I stared at my phone, then looked over at Lin Yue. She was also looking at me with a confused and terrified expression. You heard all that, right? What do we do now? I asked her and also asked myself, believe it or not. If I believe it, this is all too ridiculous, like something straight out of a fantasy. If I don't believe it, how do I explain Wang Hao's half-dead state right now? Can the hospital fix this? Tell the doctor he feels something is sitting on him. I'll go get a lighter. Lin Yue gritted her teeth, like she had made up her mind. She shoved Wang Hao towards me, then stumbled and ran towards a convenience store in the mall. I was holding Wang Hao up alone, and he felt even heavier. His eyes were half open. His pupils were dilated. He was muttering unconsciously under his breath. My skin crawled. I quickly dragged him into the nearby men's bathroom. No one was inside the bathroom. I sat him down against the wall corner, then locked the door from the inside. Lin Yue came back soon, holding a brand new lighter in her hand. There were still wet tear streaks on her face. The convenience store owner asked why I was buying a lighter. I said I was lighting a cigarette for my dad. Her voice choked up as she spoke. The once arrogant Lin Yue, who used to look down on me, looked so helpless right now. I didn't say anything, and took the lighter from her hand. Her hands were shaking. She took out the remaining meat buns from her designer bag. The buns were already cold, all wilted and squishy. The white dough was stained with the smell of cosmetics from her bag. But creepily enough, in the folds of the buns, I seemed to see some black, mold-like spots on them. I remember very clearly, when I handed him the buns this morning, there were definitely no such spots. Hurry up, burn them. I nodded. Put the buns on the sink, and flicked the lighter on. A click sounded. An orange flame popped up. I brought the flame close to the buns. Something weird happened again. Those buns were clearly made of flour, with greasy meat filling inside. But when the flame got close, it suddenly burst into flames with a whoosh. And the flame wasn't the normal orange-yellow color. It was a weird, eerie dark green. An indescribable fishy stench filled the entire bathroom in a second. It didn't smell like burnt meat. It smelled more like something rotten that had been set on fire after sitting for ages. Lin Yue and I couldn't help covering our noses. Wang Hao in the corner seemed to smell it too. He started struggling violently, making weird, hoarse huffing sounds, like he was fighting something. I gritted my teeth and took the remaining buns and threw all of them into the green flame. The flame burned even brighter. I could even hear coming from the fire waves of crisp sizzling sounds, like something was being fried in a pan of oil. Along with that, there were also faint, almost unnoticeable screams. The sound was high-pitched and thin. It didn't sound like anything a human could make. Lin Wei was so scared she collapsed on the floor, clamping her hands over her ears tight. My scalp was tingling too, but I didn't dare stop what I was doing. Soon the buns were burned down to a pile of black ash. The green flame slowly died out too, and the fishy stench faded along with it. I stared at the pile of black ash on the sink, then glanced at Wang Hao, who was calming down in the corner. I breathed a small sigh of relief. Get me the cup, quick. I used my hand to sweep the still warm ash, bit by bit into the cup. Then I turned on the tap. Cold tap water came gushing out. I filled the cup all the way up. The black ash dispersed in the water. The whole cup turned as murky as ink in seconds. Do I really have to drink this? If you don't, he's really done for. Wang Hao, wake up, Chen Hui. How are you feeling? I feel like I just had a nightmare. I dreamed a woman was lying on my back the whole time, saying she was so hungry. Lin Yue and I exchanged a look. We both saw fear in each other's eyes. Don't overthink it. I held the cup up to his mouth. Come on. Drink some water. What's this? He stared at the pitch-black water in the cup and frowned. Antidote. Antidote? What the hell is this black gunk? It looks like ink. Can you even drink this? Drink it or don't, up to you. If you don't want to have that nightmare again, you'll drink this whole cup. My tone was harsh, leaving no room for argument. Wang Hao hesitated. He glanced at the cup in my hand, then glanced at Lin Yue, who was deathly pale next to him, and seemed to realize something. What the hell happened to me just now? He asked Lin Yue. Lin Yue's lips moved, but she couldn't get a single word out. What was she supposed to say? That you were followed? That you were screaming and crying in the garage, like a lunatic? That you were possessed? Possessed? Wang Hao scoffed, but his smile looked worse than a cry. Chen Hui, have you read too many shitty novels? We live in a scientific society. There's no such thing as possession. Then you tell me. How do you scientifically explain that in the garage? You were screaming, you were cold, and there was someone on your back. How do you explain your breath was fogging white? The garage AC was too cold. I probably caught a cold. Would a cold make you feel someone's blowing on your ear? Would it make you feel like 1,000 pounds is pressing on your shoulders? Wang Hao, stop lying to yourself. You ate the buns from my shop. There's something wrong with those buns. Oh, so you admit it. You really poisoned the buns? I didn't poison them, but those buns really aren't supposed to be taken out of the shop to eat. My dad's rules aren't for some stupid texture bullshit. They're to save the lives of idiots like you who don't believe in this stuff. I have no idea why I said all that just now. Maybe it was the green flame from earlier, that fishy stench, and those faint, lingering screams that made me see my dad, and this bun shop in a completely new and even totally different light. My words obviously stunned Wang Hao and Lin Yue. They both stared at me like I was a freak. What does your dad even do? He sells buns. A guy who's been selling buns for 30 years and made up a whole bunch of stupid rules. Drink it or not, it's your call. All I can tell you is this cup of water is probably your only chance to survive today. I've done everything I can. I've said everything I need to say. It's up to him to decide. Wang Hao is holding that cup of dark water. His hands are shaking. He stares at the murky liquid in the cup. His expression keeps changing unpredictably. The instinct to survive and the fear of the unknown are fighting fiercely in his mind. Time passes by second. The bathroom is eerily quiet. Just drink it, okay? Qingkai won't hurt you. That was so scary just now, really. Maybe Lin Yue's words worked. Or maybe he figured it out himself. Wang Hao grits his teeth and closes his eyes, tilts his head back, and chugs all that murky, dark water down. He drinks really fast. Like he's scared he'll regret it if he slows down. After he finishes drinking, he throws the cup on the floor. Then he starts coughing violently. What the hell is this taste? Tastes like burnt dirt. He coughs and spits at the same time. He looks so messed up. Lin Yue and I both watch him nervously. We don't even dare to breathe too loud. Does it even work? That weird ritual my dad came up with, does it actually work? Right at this moment, Wang Hao stops coughing. He suddenly clutches his stomach. His face twists in extreme pain. Chen Hui, what did you make me drink? I'm completely stunned. How did this happen? Didn't you say he'd be fine after drinking it? Why is he in pain now? Dad, what's wrong? Did he drink it? He did, but his stomach hurts, Dad. Did something go wrong? Did it? Don't panic. Oh, right, he's dying of pain, and you say, oh, right. That thing isn't easy to get rid of. It's already inside his stomach. If we want to force it out, how can there be no pain? Dad, he can't take much more of this. Wang Hao, go to the stall right now. You might pass some nasty stuff later. You'll be fine once you get it out. Before I even realize what's happening, Wang Hao goes totally crazy, jumps up from the ground, and stumbles towards the nearest stall. There's a loud bang as he slams the door shut. Right after that, I hear an insanely loud noise. It's super loud and goes on forever, and it even echoes. Right after that comes a stench that's 100 times worse than when we burned the bun earlier. That smell is literally indescribable. It smells like a truckload of rotten eggs mixed with rotting fish, plus a ton of ancient poop, fermenting in the sewer for 100 years, and then suddenly exploding all at once. Lin Wei is the first one who can't take it. She leans against the wall and throws up immediately. The stench makes me see stars, too. My stomach is churning like crazy, I swear. I've never smelled anything this bad in my entire life. My dad's breakfast shop smells like oil fumes, sweat, and swill. All kinds of gross smells. But I've never felt this disgusted before. What the hell did he poop out? I have no idea. And I don't want to know either. I just hope this smell goes away soon. The sound of flushing comes from the stall. Then the door creaks open. Wang Hao holds onto the door frame and walks out. His face is still deathly pale, but it's not that weird purplish-blue color it was earlier. His clothes are soaked through with sweat. He looks like he just got pulled out of water. He's completely exhausted, but his eyes are clear again now. I'm okay now. Do you still feel like there's something on your back? No. It's gone. That feeling is totally gone. My back isn't cold anymore. My shoulders don't feel heavy either. He jumps up and down twice in excitement. Even though his legs are still a little wobbly, it worked. My dad's method actually worked. I let out a long sigh of relief. I feel like I'm totally drained too. This whole morning has been more thrilling than the past. 20-something years of my entire life combined. Wang Hao walks up to me. He has a complicated look on his face. He looks at me. His lips twitch a little, like he wants to say something, but can't get the words out. Finally, he takes his wallet out of his pocket, pulls out all the cash inside, which is about 10,000 yuan, and shoves it all into my hand. Take this. Thanks a lot for today. There was no trace left in his tone of the arrogance and cockiness he had this morning. Instead, there was a hint of reverence. It was directed at me, or rather my dad, and my family's mysterious steamed bun shop. Chenhui, I'm sorry. And thank you too. I stared at the money in my hand, then glanced at the two of them. I suddenly found this kind of funny. They humiliated me with money this morning. Now they're thanking me with money. It's the same exact stack of bills, but its meaning is totally different now. What on earth does your dad actually do? His eyes darted back and forth between me, my dad's identity as the steamed bun shop owner, and all the weird stuff that just happened. Clearly, the idea of him being just a regular bun seller couldn't convince him anymore. How should I answer him? Tell him I have no clue either. I looked at him, then glanced at Lin Yue. A thought suddenly popped into my head. A lead that even shocked me myself. Wanna know? I copied my dad's manner and gave an enigmatic smile. Come to my shop tonight. I'll tell you everything slowly. The second those words left my mouth, even I froze for a second. What am I doing? Inviting them to my family's shop? The place I've been dying to stay away from my whole life. And I said I'd tell them slowly. What am I even supposed to say? I'm still totally confused myself. Acting like a total fool, but for some reason, after I said that out loud, I felt a weird sense of pleasure in my chest. Looking at the mix of shock, curiosity, and slight fear on Wang Hao and Lin Yue's faces, I felt like I'd finally gotten the upper hand. I was no longer the poor kid humiliated in public by his ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend. I was some big shot who knew secrets they didn't, even though this so-called big shot knew nothing at all. Go to your shop. Wang Hao's expression was priceless, like he wanted to go but was also terrified. Everything he went through today had completely turned his worldview upside down. The way he looked at me now was like I was some sketchy con artist in human skin. What's wrong? You scared? Who's scared? Wang Hao immediately straightened his back. Rich people can't afford to lose face. Fine, I'll go. What time? After 10 p.m. tonight. After Wang Hao said that, he glanced at Lin Yue again. The two of them supported each other and left the bathroom looking totally disheveled. The terrible stench still hadn't faded, so I bolted out of there right after. Standing in the bright mall lobby, breathing in the nice perfume scent in the air, I felt like everything that just happened was a crazy dream. Green flames, that rotten fishy smell, black potion, and Wang Hao's earth-shattering bowel movement. None of it felt real. I looked down at the thick stack of bills in my hand, then at the still wet blood on the back of my hand. They made it very clear to me that all of it was real. The breakfast shop my dad ran in the urban village for 30 years held a secret I had never known about at all. And this secret, today, because Lin Yue showed up, had a tiny corner of it finally lifted. I took out my phone, hesitated for a second, then called my dad anyway. Dad. Yeah. It's all handled. Yeah, it's handled. Good. Keep the money you have there, spend it however you want. Thanks for all your hard work today. Dad, don't you think you owe me an explanation? Explanation for what? Didn't I already tell you? You can't take those buns to go. That's not what I'm talking about. Yang energy, yin energy, the mailbox. And that thing just now? What on earth is going on here? What kind of family are we even? I blurted out all the questions I had in one go. My dad went silent again. This time, the silence lasted even longer. So, Hui. For some things, it's better not to know than to know. You just live your nice, normal life. Why can't I just stick to my own path? No, that's not okay. What happened today? If I hadn't lucked my way through it, Wang Hao could have died. What about next time? If this happens again, and I'm still kept in the dark like an idiot, do you think I can handle that? Dad, I'm all grown up. I'm not a kid anymore. I have the right to know the truth. The truth is our Chen family, for generations, has been cooking for the things under Chengcheng village. Cooking. For who? Starving ghosts. My dad spat out these 3 words casually. My mind went blank with a buzz, as if I'd been hit hard by a sledgehammer, even though I had a hunch already. The impact of hearing it straight from my dad still made me feel unsteady on my feet. The reason our shop is here, and we haven't moved in 30 years, is to suppress the things down below. Every day before dawn, the first batch of steamed pork buns right out of the steamer has the strongest yangqi. They're offerings for those things. If they eat them directly, they'll gain power and come up to hurt people. So a living person has to eat them in the shop first. Plus the earthly smoke and fire that's accumulated in the shop over all these years can lock that yangqi inside the buns. And after a living person eats and digests them, the incense key is sent down below. But what if you take it to go? Steaming hot buns right out of the steamer are like a bright lamp in the dark. They'll attract all the wandering things nearby. Whoever eats this bun is basically opening a door for those things. They'll follow you, haunt you, until they suck every bit of life out of you. There was so much information in what Dad just said. I couldn't process it all at once. It didn't feel like I was listening to my dad. It felt like I was hearing a fairy tale. One about our family's bun shop. That's dark and super creepy. Then how did Lin Yue know when she grabbed the buns? I asked another key question. I don't know, but I felt it. This craft of our family has been passed down to the 9th generation with me. Dealing with these things every day, you naturally develop a sort of 6th sense. Every single bun has my energy on it. The moment it gets contaminated by yin qi, right here, my chest feels like it's being pricked by a needle. That's when I realized why he sounded so terrified on the phone. Why he could accurately describe that it was a woman driving a luxury car. He knew everything all along. He just never told me. Why didn't you tell me earlier? What's the point of telling you? So you could follow in my footsteps and spend your whole life stuck in this greasy old shop. Dealing with these hidden, unholy creatures, my biggest wish in life is for you to get as far away from this place as possible. Dad's words hit like a hammer, slamming hard right into my heart. I always thought he wouldn't let me take over the shop because he thought I was clumsy, that I couldn't handle the hard work. It never crossed my mind that he was trying to protect me. In his own way, with his silent, even stubborn, fatherly love to hold up a clean, safe sky for me. Dad, all right, stop sniveling. What kind of grown man acts like this? As long as the problem's fixed, that's all that matters. You're tired today, too. Go home and get some rest early. We can handle shop stuff tomorrow. No, Dad. I'm not going home tonight. Why not? What are you gonna do? I made plans with people. I asked Wang Hao and Lin Yue to come to the shop at 10 p.m. tonight. I took a deep breath. I'd never felt as clear-headed and determined as I am right now. They want to know what our family actually does for a living. So do I? So Dad, tell me everything you know tonight. I'm taking over this shop. Dad was silent on the other end of the line for a whole minute. I could even hear his breathing, growing rapid from shock. What did you say? Say that again. I said I'm taking over this shop. Starting today. Starting right now. Are you crazy? Dad finally snapped, his voice back to that furious tone. Chen Hui, listen to me. I worked my ass off to send you away, to let you go to college.
To get an office job.
Not for you to come back to this hellhole. Do you have any idea what you're talking about? I know I answered really calmly. I've never been more sure of myself. Dad, you've protected me for over 20 years. That's more than enough. Now, it's my turn to step up. Your turn. Your turn to do what? Carry on the family business. Keep dealing with a bunch of hungry ghosts here. And get trapped in this tiny shop for your whole life. Never get to go anywhere else. Is that the life you want?
I don't know if this is the life I want.
I'll be honest. But before today, I didn't even have a chance to choose. You took all the danger and dirt on yourself. All you left me was a seemingly glamorous and normal life. But that life was fake. It was floating in the air with no roots. Today, I finally feel like I'm standing on solid ground. I looked at my own hands. There's flour from kneading dough on them. There are red burn marks from scalds. There are scratches from bumping into a utility pole. These hands chopped vegetables today, minced meat and held a knife, and saved someone's life. It's dirty and tiring, but it's real. Dad, you always said our family's baozi values a kind of key. I didn't understand it before. Now I kinda get it. This QE isn't just the heat from food. It's also the vitality of living people. It's even the responsibility deep in the bones of us Chen family members passed down from generation to generation. Responsibility. Bullshit responsibility. My dad snapped from the other end of the phone. This is fate. This is a curse. It's a shackle our Chen family can never shake off for generations. I finally managed to get you out of this. Why the hell would you jump back on your own? Because I'm your son. Because my last name is Chen. If this is fate, then I'll take it. If this is a curse, then I'll break it. I can't let you carry this alone your whole life, right? After I said all that, the other end of the line went quiet again. This time what I heard wasn't silence, nor was it a sigh. It was a wave of suppressed, quiet sobs. My dad was crying. The man who in my memory always had a straight face, was always impatient, always expressed everything with his pipe and scolds he was crying. I held my phone and stood in the busy, crowded mall lobby. I couldn't hold back my tears either. It seemed like my dad and I had never had such an honest conversation across a phone line like this before. There was always something between us. The greasy shop counter, the rising steam, that line, "You're just a kid, stop asking so many questions." Today that barrier was finally broken. Are you really sure about this? After a long time, my dad spoke again. His voice was extremely hoarse. I'm sure I won't regret it. No regrets. Fine. Then get everything ready at the shop tonight. Incense, candles, and joss paper. And that black wooden box under my bed. Take that out too. Black wooden box. Yep. You'll understand when the time comes. What about Wang Hao and Lin Yue? Let them come. There are some things that outsiders like them should know about, so no more reckless people who don't believe in this get into trouble later. Okay. I hung up the phone. I felt like a huge stone had been lifted off my chest. Even though the road ahead is full of unknowns and weird stuff, I felt more at ease than ever before. Because I know, starting today, I'm not alone anymore. I'm not that Chen Hui who was a drifting, rootless, white-collar worker in the city. I'm Chen Hui, the young owner of Chen's old store. I went back home. That was the old house my dad lived in alone, after my mom passed away. It's right above the breakfast shop. The house is very old. but my dad kept it really clean. I followed his instructions. Found that black wooden box under the bed. The box is made of sandalwood, very heavy. There's no lock on it, only an antique brass clasp. I didn't open it. My gut told me, the things inside must be handled by my dad, or it can only be opened with his permission. I also found joss sticks, candles, and joss paper. We always keep these stuff at home. Dad takes them out on every festival and holiday to worship my mom and our ancestors. I used to think it was just superstition. Looking at it now, maybe what we're worshiping isn't just our ancestors. Everything was ready. I went back to the shop. It was already starting to get dark. The night in the urban village is more bustling than daytime. People getting off work, vendors yelling from street stalls, kids laughing and messing around, blend into a noisy but vibrant symphony of life. This must be the earthly warmth Dad talked about, right? I didn't open the shop for business. I just turned on all the lights inside the shop, then started cleaning up. I wiped every single table and every stool spotless with a rag. I scrubbed the grease stains on the floor over and over with a brush. I was working very carefully and attentively, as if I was holding a sacred ritual. My actions were telling this shop, and whatever might exist inside it, I'm back. It was a little past 9 p.m. I got a call from my dad. Ahoy, listen to me. When they come later, don't say anything. Just let them sit in the shop first. What then? Make a new batch of buns exactly at 10 o'clock. Remember, from kneading the dough to putting it in the steamer, everything must be finished before 10 o'clock. As soon as the clock strikes 10, lift the lid immediately. Why 10 o'clock? The high period has the heaviest yin energy, and it's also their meal time. Once I open the steamer at mealtime, do I have to do what you said before? And let living people eat them? No, this batch tonight isn't for living people. Not for living people. Then who is it for? Take the buns out. Put them on the steps at the shop entrance. Line them up in a row, then burn joss paper next to them. And light 3 joss sticks. Wait, isn't that just giving them offerings directly? Didn't you say they'd hurt people if we do that? That's how it works normally. But today is different. There was a tone in Dad's voice of authority I couldn't understand. Today, the young master of our Chen family is making offerings to them for the first time. This is the rule. It's paying respects to the local powers. You have to let them know, from now on, who's in charge of this shop. You need to show them your sincerity, and also show them your rules. This batch of buns is an open offering. It's to tell them the Chen family has a new person in charge. Starting tomorrow, they have to follow our rules. If they want to eat, they have to wait patiently for living people to pass it to them. I only half understood what he said, but I memorized every single word of his words in my heart. At 9:50, I put the last tray of buns into the steamer. White steam quickly filled the whole shop. Right at that moment, 2 familiar figures appeared at the shop entrance. It was Wang Hao and Lin Yue. They changed their clothes. They looked a lot more energetic than during the day, but the unease and nervousness on their faces was impossible to hide. They stood at the door, staring at the brightly lit shop, and me busily working inside. They hesitated for a moment, afraid to come in. I didn't look up. I just said calmly, "You're here." Come in and take a seat. It's 10 minutes to 10 o'clock. You're here. Come in and take a seat. It's 10 minutes to 10 o'clock. Wang Hao and Lin Yue walked in cautiously, like 2 kids coming to the city for the first time. They were wary and curious about everything around them. They picked the table closest to the door and sat down. They sat up straight. They didn't even know where to put their hands. I ignored them and kept doing my work. Kneading dough, mixing fillings, wrapping buns. My movements were slow but steady. Every step felt like a memory engraved in my bones. The shop was very quiet. There was only the sound of me kneading dough and the gurgling of boiling water in the steamer. Wang Hao and Lin Yue didn't speak either. They just watched me. Their eyes went from initial curiosity to gradual surprise. They probably didn't expect that. A white-collar worker like me, who looks like a delicate, bookish guy, can do all this rough work surprisingly well. There's even an indescribable rhythm to it. You do this often. I've been doing this since I was a kid. Then why did you even go to college? To work in an office? That question stabbed my heart like a needle. I stopped what I was doing and looked up at her. Because my dad didn't want me doing this. I looked into her eyes and said word for word, because he thinks selling steamed buns is embarrassing. Lin Yue's face went pale in an instant. She knew I said that to her, and to myself as well. There was a time when I thought it was embarrassing too. I thought my dad was useless for sticking to this lousy shop. I thought reeking of oil and smoke made me inferior to others. I tried like hell to get away, to prove I was different from them. But today I realized I was wrong, dead wrong. I didn't look at her again, and lowered my head to keep wrapping buns. The atmosphere was even more stifling than before. The old wall clock ticked nonstop, each thud hitting everyone right in the chest. 9:57, 9:58, 9:59. The second hand hit the very top. Dang, dang, dang. The clock struck 10 o'clock. Long and dull. Right at the first chime of the bell, I ripped off the steamer lid. Whoosh. White steam several times thicker than daytime, mixed with piping hot meaty aroma, burst out all at once, filling the entire shop. The steam was as thick as impenetrable fog. I couldn't even see Wang Hao and Lin Yue's faces across from me. I could tell they were caught off guard by this sudden turn of events. They both flinched back. "Don't move, don't make a sound," I growled in a low voice. It wasn't loud, but it was extra clear in the silent shop. Sure enough, the two of them didn't dare move. I carefully took out from the steamer the 10 freshly made meat buns. The buns were plump and white, bigger than the ones sold in the daytime. With more neatly defined folds, they even glowed softly under the light. Then I held the tray and walked step by step to the shop entrance. Every step I took was steady. I could feel countless eyes watching me from the dark, including the terrified gazes of Wang Hao and Lin Yue inside the shop, as well as those from outside the shop, from things I couldn't see. They were waiting for the offering in my hand. I reached the entrance. I didn't step outside. Instead, I steadily placed the tray on the top of the 2 steps at the door. The 10 buns were lined up in a row. Then I stepped back into the shop. I took from under the counter the pre-prepared joss paper, incense, and candles. I lit the candles and stuck them on both sides of the door. The candlelight flickered, stretching my shadow long and thin on the ground. Then I lit a stack of joss paper and threw it into the metal basin by the door. Whoosh, the flames shot up, turning the joss paper to ash, spinning in the night wind, floating off to an unknown distance. Finally, I lit 3 sticks of incense. I held the incense with both hands, facing the deep dark night outside the shop, and bowed 3 times respectfully. Fellow neighbors from all sides, brothers from all directions. My voice wasn't loud, but loud enough for everyone inside and outside to hear. My name is Chen Hui, the new owner of Chen's old shop. I'm new here today. I've prepared some small gifts. It's just a small token of my goodwill, to pay my respects to all of you. My father ran this place before. If he was ever a bad host, or offended anyone in any way, from now on, I'm in charge here. The Chen family rules won't change. The first steamer of buns every morning is blessed with positive yang energy for you, to make sure all of you get a full meal. But rules are rules. Don't take what you're not supposed to take. Don't eat what you're not supposed to. Eat. As for today's incident, I'll let it slide since it's the first offense. And the Chen family was also negligent. We'll drop this matter for now. If this happens again, don't blame me, Chen Hui, for being ruthless and showing no mercy at all. After that, I inserted the 3 incense sticks I was holding into the incense burner at the door. After I finished all that, I turned around and went back into the shop. I didn't look back at those steamed buns, but I could feel that outside the door. The temperature had dropped a little more. The night wind blew past, carrying a rustling, hissing sound. It sounded like lots of people fighting over something, or lots of people sobbing in low voices. Wang Hao and Lin Yue were already scared out of their wits. The two of them huddled together, their faces as pale as paper. The way they looked at me was like they were staring at a demon that crawled straight out of hell. I ignored them, walked over to a table and sat down on my own. I poured myself a cup of tea. "Sit down," the two of them shakily sat down in the seats across from me. Who were you talking to just now?" "What do you think?" Master Chen," Wang Hao spoke up. The way he addressed me had changed from "Jinkai to Master Jin," those steamed buns. "They will eat them. They'll leave once they're done eating." The 3 of us just sat in the shop like that. No one saying a word. About 10 minutes or so later, that creepy cold feeling outside the door gradually faded away, replaced by the usual nighttime noise of the urban village. I stood up and walked to the door. The tray on the steps was still there, but the 10 steamed buns on it were already gone. There wasn't even a single grease stain, not a single crumb left, as if they had never existed at all. Only a faint, barely noticeable meaty fragrance still lingered in the air. I took the tray back inside and shut the shop door.